Hi everyone, and welcome. Today I would like to spill my say-so about arguments. I do know that we all have them with different personalities in different situations. Arguments with other people can actually teach us a lot about ourselves. Many times in arguments or disagreements, people are able to control our emotional state and our reactions. Because everything we hear from other people, it's just their personal opinion. It's not a fact. It might not even be our reality, because everything we see is a perspective and it's not the truth. When we end up in arguments, it's so easy to end up in a back and forth communication because neither part is actually really capable of listening clearly. And I think that this is because of that many of us are carrying around traumas and sorrows, and that makes us hear other people from our pain and our hurt. It's like we're talking two different languages at times. Have you ever felt like that? Like what you are saying to the other person is not coming through. They hear something totally different than what you're saying. They misunderstand what you're saying and pick up something else within your wording. And this can actually hurt them. It can happen that we hurt people in conversations or discussions. Even though our intention is not to hurt them, it just happens because they are actually hurting on the inside. They have something that lays there from their past. And I think that when people express this towards you honestly and say that to you that you hurted them, even though it wasn't your intention, I think it's important to acknowledge their pain and be apologetic with the action that actually hurted them, even though it wasn't your intention. And what they also did is that they gave you a better understanding of them because they showed you more of themselves. And I think that they showed you where they're hurting, so now you are able to navigate better with this person. If you are present, you will be able to observe and understand this in the next situation that might pop up, where their pain might be touched and you won't be able to express yourself or hurt them the same way that you did before, even though it wasn't your intention. Because now you can choose your word a little bit more wisely and help them heal maybe some wounds that they have on the inside. I believe that people should actually teach people when they are wrong, rather than oppose to just criticize them. I think we should teach one another in arguments to talk calmly, to respect one another, even if our emotions at times can be in the way. Because oftentimes our emotions are in the way for us to have clear and healthy disagreements, where we can actually understand one another. I think it's very much okay to have arguments. I actually think it can even be healthy because it can show us as individuals where we need to heal. I think what is important is actually how we navigate within our arguments. And that, my friend, is what matters within the arguments that you have with other people. Because oftentimes, very unnecessary things is said with the intention to push the other person's buttons. And that most often triggers old traumas and wounds, which of course causes a reaction. To hurt someone just because they hurt you will not heal your pain, and you will not be benefiting, neither one of you. You will even create more damage for the both of you when hurting someone back. Once again, it's okay to be wrong, and it's okay to admit to being wrong. This is how we grow and avoid more of these situations to occur in our life, when we can be present and take responsibility for our own actions within an argument and apologize for them. Because when we can let our responsibilities surface, we can see the situation objectively and see where we can grow. Because all of these situations, arguments, disagreements, they are teaching us something about ourselves. And we should take these opportunities to grow from within. I do understand that oftentimes we need time to calm down, or maybe even vent to a friend about the situation, who can help us see the situation objectively, and maybe even mirror us with our wrongdoings within the situation. When we have calmed down, we're able to look at the situation objectively, and then we're able to take responsibility for our actions that may have caused more damage between the two, and actually apologize for our part and grow and evolve from it. Your words and your doings is always your responsibility, no matter how the other person chooses to act. Learn how to react to people constructively, even if it means being alone in silence, to study your own emotions. Because in your response is your destiny. If you do not take conscious control of your reaction, you will give away your power. Because when we react from a place of emotion, logic serves us our punishment. Anger is the punishment you give yourself for someone else's mistake. I do think that we miss out so much by not being present within the present moment. Not only when it comes to disagreements, but in all aspects of our life. But when we do have disagreements, it's even harder to stay present because our emotions and old wounds clouds our mind and our hearts, and it's so easy to just react in an emotional state. But with presence, we become better observers of our environment. And we are able to approach the situation differently by becoming better communicators that will understand people. And that in itself will remove a lot of frustration and give us empathy and understanding instead. An unhealed person might hurt someone intentionally because they seek revenge. A healed person is aware that everything boils down to oneself. Because all actions we play out towards people is a reflection of ourselves. And never ever has to do with the other person. It always has to do with us. How we choose to react to someone is our responsibility. You should never make anyone else go through the same thing that ruined or hurt you. Whatever hurt you should be a valuable lesson for you to know, so you will never ever hurt someone the way someone else has hurted you. Promise yourself to never ever hurt people like that. There is enough damage in this world as it is. All our external relationships can teach us so much if we choose to take these lessons that our life provides us with. When life presents situations in our life where we have arguments and disagreements with people, it's easy for us to put the focus on the other person. It's easy for us to blame the other person for our own actions and our own doings. It's not often I hear people take responsibility when they end up in an argument with someone. It's always someone else's fault because that they are the way they are. I did what I did. It's never, you know what, I should have looked at myself. I shouldn't have done that. That was way wrong of me, or I was way out there. No matter what the other person chooses to do. Because if the other person chooses to do something and you react towards them, they control you. They control the way you respond to them by their actions. So the best thing to do in any disagreement or any argument with anyone, can be your boss, it can be your spouse, it can be a friend, it can be a family member, it can be a partner, is to look within. We often want peace in our life and we don't want to argue. And I don't think no one wants drama. But then, yet so many of us are drama. But we don't see that because we're not capable of looking at ourselves objectively. If we want something from the outside, we must first create it from the inside. We must first become what we want. Then we can get it from the outside. But it has to start within ourselves. We can't blame other people for our reactions. We can't blame other situations for our response. We have to take full responsibility, and we have to change our ways and our perspectives and heal what goes on within. Only then can we create better arguments or disagreements, because we can remain calm. How you react is a lesson for you to look within you, to see and understand why you react the way you do. Where does that pain reaction come from? How people react to you will either teach you what you would like to be more of, or maybe how far you have come in the way that you actually choose to respond to people. It's always a lesson there to learn, and we should always look at ourselves when we are in arguments with other people. Whenever we feel emotions of anger, frustration, disappointment, or sadness, it's very important for us to look within, to figure out why we feel like this. People can only hurt us as long as we allow them to. And I see this, that there are so many out there that goes around with an old scar that lays within them, and that makes them hurt other people. And that means that they haven't gotten over it, and it means that they need to go through it. And if this is you, you need to heal yourself. And don't be like the people who hurt you. The universe will always put everything in its proper place. Mind your business and find happiness within yourself. Get on your journey of healing, and always at any given point, look at yourself and your own actions. Take responsibility and do better for you next time if a similar situation pops up in your life. Anger and frustration and disappointments are feelings that can be very draining and destructive. So work on yourself. What does it mean to work on yourself? It's to stop waiting on others to change. It's when you realize that you can be in control of everything that goes on inside of you. You just need to face everything and let it surface so you can release yourself from it. The reality is that everyone has scars, and you will eventually find a person where their scars becomes your favorite part. You will love them throughout anything, because you might have done the healing for yourself and you can see the pain within them. Because trauma changes you. It literally alters your DNA. It damages your mental health and takes a toll on your quality of living. This is why we need to heal. This is why we need to detach and go into solitude, so we can heal ourselves and get our powers back and not give our control or emotional control away to anyone or any situation. So we actually can see the world unfiltered and clear. So we can see others with understanding instead of frustration and anger and disappointment. So many of us have such a hard time to be in solitude. I mean solitude where no screens are on, where you don't distract yourself with anything, so you are able to feel what you are feeling and hear your own thoughts. This is the only way to understand yourself. You have to be able to pay attention towards your internal self. And please be aware of this. Some people will not be able to hear you, regardless how much, how loud, or how truthful or loving or profound you speak, because they need to heal from within and are just not receptive towards what you are offering them. Your mental health should be a priority over any friendship or relationship. You should be willing to lose anyone and anything before you lose your mind because of someone else. If their version of you means that you should respect them, and that involves you disrespecting yourself, maybe it's actually time to let this person go. Or if you don't want to let that person go, set up some healthy boundaries for yourself within your dealings with them. And when you will start to set up healthy boundaries in your relationships, people might actually have a problem with this. But please do understand this, that the problem is not you setting up healthy boundaries. The problem is within them. And that's something they have to deal with. You shouldn't have to deal with that. We have this saying that if someone truly values you, they would never put themselves in a position to lose you. I think that's somewhat true, but on the other hand, I don't think that it's true, because I think that a person can desperately love you with their emotions, but not be capable of loving you with their actions. Because people who are hurt, they will just hurt people. And I just think that this happens unintentionally. Yeah, sure, I think that some people out there actually hurt people by intention. But I don't think that, and I also think that that action even comes, if there is pain within, there will be pain without, in your external world. But if you don't have pain within, there is nothing in you that would want to hurt another person, no matter how bad or mean they are towards you. Because you will just have the understanding that that person is just really hurt on the inside. The crazier the things people do, the more hurt and the more pain they actually have on the inside. And the better you can understand this, the more calm you will be in your arguments or disagreements with people. Because a person who truly loves themselves won't be able to love any other. To love yourself takes work and understanding for yourself. It takes time in solitude to really get to know yourself. And oftentimes when we end up in arguments with people, I don't think that people often all the time defend their behavior. I think that people know that they're wrong. I think that they are defending themselves against feeling ashamed. I think their ego is attached to pride. So they don't want to go down the path of feeling ashamed and apologetic. And the more people show you actions like this, they will also show you their defense mechanism. And if you can be able to be present and observe this, you will see where they are hurt and where their pain comes from and why they act the way they do. You will have an understanding. And this, my friend, will remove a lot of frustrations on your end towards that person. People are often, most time, just protecting themselves. I do also believe that one thing that has been installed in us from a very young age is to not cry and to not show any type of weakness. I think it's very important to stay calm throughout disagreements, because we never quite know what the other person battles within, and neither do they with yours, unless we're able to share this filter free. But since we have been so programmed with certain things and indoctrinated that we don't show weaknesses and we don't show when we are sad, we don't express this to the people around us. But if we can stay calm and have presence within the disagreements we have with people, we will become better observers. The problem is also that most people will always avoid the most uncomfortable conversations to keep the peace. Peace should never be the goal in any relationship when pain is there. We have to go through the darkness to come out on the other side of light, where we can be in peace in our relationships for real. Not where we bite our tongues not to say certain things. This is not love. Love should be the goal in all our relationships and friendships. When we love someone, we have the hard conversations in service of love. Many of us are not able to always see our own doings, but the people around us can view us objectively and do us this favor and mirror us in the things we don't see for ourselves. This will give us an opportunity to actually grow and evolve. You should always be with people or with someone who will sit with you and say, hey, let's fix this. instead of being a child and ignoring you. It's team effort. It's not you versus the person, it's us versus the problem. We also need to understand that some people want to heal, while others doesn't. People who are not willing to work on themselves, it's not your job to convince them to. Their battles is not your battles to carry. Many of us use broken people as an escape from our own issues because we don't want to face our own shadows, so we hide behind others. We have this help mentality and attract broken people into our lives that we can save and feel a bit better about ourselves. We mistake our attachments to their brokenness with love. It's because the brokenness that they have inside of them, we actually may also have inside of us. It's always easier to help someone else and distract yourself from actually facing your own fears and shadows. But then again, if you have done a lot of work on yourself, sometimes you don't always attract what you are. You sometimes attract people who are in desperate need of what you are. But be careful here with your own well-being. Because the better you observe the people around you, the better equipped you will be to approach them according to your own healthy boundaries within the dealings with them. People will show you who they are all the time. It's all up to you to see people for who and where they are. It is then your choice to choose which relationships and friendships you want to keep giving your energy and time to. For example, if you get mad or disappointed at someone for not calling you or texting you the way you would like or show up for you the way you would prefer, maybe you haven't paid enough attention to who she or he is and where they are mentally and emotionally. When you are dealing with a broken person in any aspect, you will have to take the bigger role and understand more of their behaviors because there is actually pain there. And don't take this personally. And if you have any expectations or hope on your relationships and the people in your relationships don't show up for you the way you want to, which oftentimes can lead to build up frustration and disappointment, this actually has more to do with you than with them. You should never ever expect anything from anyone. How people show up for you should always be their choice and decision. As long as you stay mad, disappointed, or frustrated at someone in a situation that the two or maybe more of you ended up in, you won't be able to see the truth in this state of anger. You can only fix yourself. You can't fix anyone else. Everyone has to do their own work. And the reality is that none of us are easy to be with. We all suffer from something. So when you meet someone who is willing to stay committed to understanding you and actually wants to grow with you, please don't let your ego and pride ruin this. Don't run away from a love like that either. Because many of us are scared of a real love because we're so used to hiding behind our own shadows and are comfortable with doing so. So when you meet someone who loves you purely and unconditionally, and is able to see through all your brokenness and is actually willing to fight for you and us, many of us get scared. And love is the key to all healing. We all can learn how to love better, but we must first learn how to love ourselves. We have to accept that some people are just comfortable within their own misery, and they don't want us to save them. They are just not ready yet. We have to accept and respect their journey. Many are attached to who they believe them out to be. They just can't see beyond. Many people enjoy keeping the victim coat on. It's easy for them, and that is what they know, until they are ready to learn something new. The best way to inspire the people around you to heal is to heal yourself. When you conquer certain challenges and situations in your own life, people will take notice. You won't have to convince anyone about anything because you will spark something within their soul. And the urge for them to change will come from the inside of them. It won't be forced upon them. And when I say conquer, I mean when you are able to handle them better, no matter how the other person chooses to respond or react to you. No matter how much they try to push your buttons, you just don't react because you're able to respond calmly and healthy. Then, my dear, you have mastered and conquered something from within. And that is a huge accomplishment. Don't forget to stop and appreciate and admire yourself for all your accomplishments, because healing is hard work. Once we learn to observe a person's actions more than we listen to their words, I also think that we will get a better understanding of them. We are, for some weird reason, living in a society where we are better at criticizing people than actually lifting people up. And I don't think that you should never ever be afraid or ashamed or hold back to let someone know if they brightened up the room they just walked into. Or if they maybe said or did something that actually inspired you. You should never be embarrassed to share a compliment with a stranger. And don't ever fall into the trap of believing that the people you love know all the wonderful things that you actually think and feel about them. Please get comfortable with expressing love. What you give to the universe, you will actually get back. Be expressive with love and gratitude and joy. Many of us are so expressive with negative things to say or feedback to people. Many of us are very freely talking about people behind their back and what we think or believe that they do wrong, and can never ever say this to the person's face. Always be honest and be in your truth with yourself and everyone around you, and you will feel better on the inside for you. And sometimes your word may occasionally land a little bit awkward at first, but honesty is love. Always express love, gratitude, and positivity. Share your light and the light you see in others, because you are planting seeds in their mental garden, and those seeds will eventually flower and bloom. So, sow seeds wherever you go, and the type of seeds that you grow is within your own power to choose. There is nothing better you can do with your words than plant seeds in people's mind that comes with light and love and genuine grace. And please, do yourself a favor. Always forgive yourself for what you did in survival mode towards anyone else or towards yourself. Emotions can sometimes take the best of us. And when our emotions takes the best of us, they are there to teach us a lesson. Your past is meaningless because you can't change that, but you can always learn from it. And you will never make lasting changes unless you forgive your past self. The choices and energy you embody today will create your future. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself for things that have happened or might happen, and ask yourself, oh my God, why is this happening to me? Learn how to ask yourself questions that will actually evolve you forward. Because your answers lays within your questions. So ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? And do yourself a favor. In any given argument with any given person or situation, you should always take a closer look at yourself and reflect. Because to live in peace, peace must come from within. Namaste.